Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Just Keep Swimming podcast. This is your host, Adrian Jackson, and we're here with another great episode today. And of course, I got my boy with me, my little bros, Mr. Donovan Jackson. Bro, how we doing today?
Hey, look, 1-3, that 1 past to 12 on the clock, you know we ready at all times.
Exactly.
Let's get it, bro.
Exactly, whatever that meant. Let's go. I'm with it. Let's get it right now.
Extra mile, bro. You got to go further. Exactly. Always further. Past limits.
Exactly.
Limit breaker.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? There is no limits. You know what I'm saying? I was watching the Superman versus Goku the other day, and it's deep because it's like Goku always breaks limits, but Superman is limitless.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that whole nother day.
Whole
nother day. But anyway, so I just want to say today marks an accomplishment for us. We got 5 episodes done.
Yep.
And I just want to say I salute you, brother, for rocking with me for these first 5 episodes. I really appreciate it. I'm glad we was able to do it. And I just want to have a recap today on what we learned.
Okay.
Over the last 5 episodes, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it should be real good. I think it should be a real good conversation. You know, not too long, so you guys, we won't take all your time today.
No.
So it should be solid. So I just want to start off a little bit, just in general, on why I'm doing this. So the main reasons why I'm doing this podcast is because I just want to help bring some more connection to the world and more positivity to the world. Because, you know, it's a real dark world out there right now. We have a lot of problems. People are, you know, losing their minds daily. You know, emotions on fritz. You don't know what's going to happen. You never know when somebody's going to pop off or whatever. Right. You always got to constantly watch your back. And, you know, it's unfortunately sad we live in a world like this, but the world is what we make it because the world is in our mind.
100%.
Exactly. The world is in our mind. So it's like, if we see the world in a negative aspect, the world is going to be negative. So that's why I'm trying to have a conversation with people about positivity.
Right.
You know, the positive mindset, what it takes to have a positive mindset, what it takes to bring up positive traits into a person to really give them that ultimate self-confidence, that ultimate ability to walk around this world and just be happy and just be able to enjoy it, you know?
Right.
So that right there is one reason. Second reason I'm doing this is it's my vision. I don't know where it came from. It popped in my mind. And, you know, as you know, bro, I reached out to you. I was like, man, bro, I got this crazy idea. I just want to try it. You want to run with me? Mm-hmm. And we was like, let's do it. So really, we just taking these steps and trying to make our visions come true.
Right.
You know, so that's why I enjoy it, man.
I was ready to take it with you. Like I said before, like, this was a part of my dream to begin with, to start a podcast, to create that conversation, that connection, you know, and it really makes, you know, it really reaches people, especially when they sit and listen and like take the time to actually not hear, but listen, internalize the words that are being said, right, and shifting their perspective.
Right.
In my eyes, I believe that if you want to get closer to the truth, you have to get as many perspectives as possible. You know, when, like, okay, let's say I have this object, right? If I look at it and say it's a banana, and you look at it and say it's banana, and then mom says, oh, it's a banana, then those are 3 different perspectives looking on one object.
Right.
The truth is most likely going to be a banana. So, you know, gaining those different perspectives on different situations allows you to look from a different perspective and get closer to the truth. And again, it's what you make of it.
Exactly.
You know, I remember watching this YouTube video, and it was a TED Talk, and how we like actively create our reality, where it's basically dreaming but awake, and that's exactly what we're doing every time.
Exactly.
So yeah.
No, that's 100%, because exactly how you said it, we're dreaming while we're awake. So it's like the things that you think about constantly, yes, they may not happen right now, but because you're thinking about that so much, it's going to happen at some point in your life.
Right.
You know, it's like the morning, it's like pretty much the person that wakes up every morning, it's like, oh, today's going to be the day I get a flat tire. Today's going to be the day I get a flat tire. And, you know, you say that every morning. At some point, you're going to get a flat tire. And then what do they look at it as? Oh, I knew it. I seen I had a flat tire. But it's like, no, sir. You talked up your flat tire this whole time.
Right.
Like, you talked it up the whole... That's how I got the ticket the other day. I knew I was going to get a ticket at some point because I'd be smashing. I know I'd be smashing. I was glad I got my car registered and everything at times. So it was like, okay, I got the little ticket, but I knew at some point that cop was gonna get me. 'Cause I be seeing him every morning, all the time, and I'm sure he sees my face too.
100%.
You know.
Yeah.
So we just want to talk about the ability of we just want to talk about the positive mindset. We want to get to out the negative into the positive. You know, so that's why I had the guests come on here with us. We had Elijah, we had Mario, we had Melisha, we had EJ and Gerard, and we had you, bro.
Right.
So it's like every guest that we bring on here, I feel all you guys brought something so powerful with you guys. Like, just your aspect, your outlook on it, it opened my eyes up big time because, you know, I'm reading all these words, I'm taking all these notes and coming up with this idea of how I think this podcast is going to go. And of course, it went a whole different direction, but I love the direction that it went in because it's like beautiful. You know, I'm really touching people, having true interviews. And on the flip side, I'm helping the person I'm interviewing right now. And that's amazing. That's a great feeling, man.
Because like high key, as like, you know, taking from my personal perspective from doing this, and then also kind of watching, you know, our other interviewees, if you want to say so. As you're asking these questions and bringing forth the light of what you see in them, it helps them process what they didn't really consciously think about.
Exactly.
So it helps them internalize what they've already been doing.
Right.
So now they know, now they have an idea of what works for them, and because it's being shown, and then also what else they need to work on. Like that question at the end, hey, now, you know, we just went through all this, so what are you working on now? Because we're always still growing.
Right.
So
exactly.
Yeah, it's like a big check mark.
Exactly. And now that goes right back to words. Just keep swimming.
Just keep
swimming.
Know
what I'm saying? Because I'm just gonna keep swimming. Like as I'm swimming, the more I'm swimming, the farther I'm getting. And I'm gonna get to the island one day, but you know what? Once I get to the island, I know I go to another one because this is not my permanent island. Because this was just a small goal into a larger thing. You know, it's not about the goal; it's about the journey. And I just want to keep on the journey. You know, I want to know that I keep walking, that I keep moving. Because the more that I'm moving, the more that I know I'm living.
Right.
The more I'm experiencing, the more I'm growing. So you gotta just keep moving. So let's just get into it a little bit, bro. So I just want to give everybody, first and foremost, what is a positive mindset? So your mental attitude is something that you can control outright, and you must use self-discipline to create a positive mental attitude. Your mental attitude attracts everything that makes you what you are. Okay. So you are what you think, pretty much. Exactly. You are what you think. So what you were thinking 5 years ago, you are right now. What you was thinking this morning is what you are right now.
Right.
So you are what you think. So you have to learn to think positive and control what you think to become the better person that you want to be. If you always think about, oh, I'm an alcoholic or I smoke too much, you are going to continue to smoke too much or to be alcoholic. You have to start talking in that positive of, I'm not an alcoholic. This is just a phase. This is not my final journey. And at some point, you're going to start to push away because you started to separate yourself a while ago when you started thinking of the separation between it.
Right.
Make sense?
Because it's like you saying it or thinking it or both at that point is just manifesting that into reality. You spoke that out. It's now an active energy out in the world, and it's going to work according to what you said.
Exactly. So now we're coming with a positive attitude. There are a lot of traits that can play a factor into what keeps you with a positive attitude. And Napoleon Hill, the way he talks about it, he kind of uses them as his success principles. So some of the success principles I want to just talk about today are what we talked about over the last 5 episodes. And the first one we want to start off with, well, actually, let me give you a rundown. The last 5 episodes, we talked about having a pleasing personality, about having self-discipline, about going the extra mile, leading by example, and having enthusiasm in what you do. So we just want to go through a little bit on each topic and just talk about what we learned from that episode, what we learned from actually all 5 episodes and how it relates to that topic, because I felt that throughout the episodes, a lot of things that we talked about related to the topic. Every other episode, you know. So I really just wanted to start focusing on, you know, let's break them down a little bit one by one. So let's start off with a pleasing personality, bro.
Okay.
So pretty much the definition of a pleasing personality is a combination of an agreeable, gratifying, and likable qualities inside an individual. And that's why I got you, because who doesn't like Donovan, of course, you know what I'm saying? Coolest guy ever. But, so, like, what did you learn, throughout the experiences? Like, not everybody we talked to, like, what about the personalities really was pleasing to you?
So, for me, well, to start off with, after that episode, I became a little bit more aware of like how people view me in a sense. We already talked about it, we discussed it, but just noticing people's faces shift as I walk into the room. I can tell you 2 accounts. So not long after that one, I went to like a party with one of my friends in the hotel, and they're already lit. I just got off of work, so. But apparently I felt like there was like an off energy or something like that, or some people were tense.
Right.
And I walked in and they all turned their head and gave me a smile, and I was like, "Oh, you're here? Okay, thank God, man! Like,
we need somebody to turn this party out."
Right? Yeah. And walked into the other room, and the dude was like, "Yo, bro, like, you walked in." And there was just a bright light behind you, bro. Like, and I was like, okay,
that's deep.
Yes, and like, yeah, I came to turn it up a little bit, but more so, I was just coming to chill. Like, what was y'all on?
Right.
Like, just chilling.
Right.
Just a couple days ago, walked in after I got off work again, but hung out with some of my girlfriend's friends and stuff like that. And one of the things my girlfriend said was like, hey, like, you just brought good energy into the room. Like, it was chill and stuff beforehand, but then it was just, you just brought this energy and was having fun, and everybody else kind of lifted up off of that.
Right.
So, for me, it came back down to, like, the intention. And I can say through the other interviews, I could say that everybody had intention to do what they needed to do.
Exactly.
My intention is always make sure everybody's comfortable, having a good time, and let's get things going. Let's have a conversation. Let's connect. Like, I didn't invite you over here just to chill on your phone or whatever. I mean, we can do that, but like, yo, you my homie. Let's talk. Like, what's been up with you? After we have that connection talk, we can chill or whatever. But I want to see what's on your mind.
Right.
Going into like Melisha, she had the intention of being self-disciplined and going to the gym, but also that intention was aided with the support group, and the support group's intention was to support her, and that's exactly what happened.
Right.
Let's go with EJ and Gerard. So they wanted to make a living out of doing barbers and get this shop and going the extra mile, and the intention was doing what they needed to do. And if you want to get there quicker and more efficiently with better quality, you have to have the intention to do what you need to do.
Right, exactly.
So, lead by example, intention. Yo, let's get it done. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but let's get it done. It's sometimes scary, but let's get it done.
Right.
And then enthusiasm. I'm here to have a good time.
Right.
I'm here to leave a mark.
Right.
That's my intention.
Right.
So really setting your intentions really forms the reality that you live in. And you have to make sure you walk with intention so that you can get where you need to go.
No, and that's 100% real, because, let's just change the word from attention to vibe. They were able to know their vibes, what they need to do.
Right.
And it's kind of like people can read that. People can 100% sense it, because like you said, we went to EJ and Gerard. Yeah. That was my first time actually meeting EJ and actually sitting down having a conversation with the dude.
Right.
And we had a ball, you know what I'm saying?
It was great.
We were sitting there chilling. We were sitting there watching the game. They offered us juice, drinks, sodas.
Right.
Just like you said, everything about that whole experience was pleasing. They made it pleasing for us, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We was in the shop, we took longer than we thought we were gonna take. But you know what? They didn't rush it off because they wanted to help me out like I'm trying to help them out right now.
Right, 100%.
Same thing with Mario, Elijah, Alicia. They all came over here. Shoot, they all made themselves at home. We was all sitting here having great conversation before we started recording.
Right.
The vibes was good. Everybody all just was aware of what was going on, and when they started speaking on every single occasion, they made sure that, okay, this is my topic, bam, I'm gonna be intentional with this topic, and I'm gonna work the bad boy out, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm gonna repass my message out and really leave a positive impact, you know, and
Right.
that's the beauty of having a pleasing personality. You leave yourself that positive impact.
Right, and it definitely comes with being real too, and real in yourself, and that's what I'm loving about the podcast so far, because every person that we had was transparent.
Real. Yeah, real. Yeah, 100% real.
And man, it's just like it's a whole different vibe, bro. And
right.
And that's the thing. It's like if you truly want to connect with people, are you going to connect with them when you're holding a mask and hiding behind a thing for a second? Like, not saying that you shouldn't do that. You know, most of the time there's certain situations when you need to check it out. But I mean, if you're close with some people and you're trying to get something done and make a connection, then you got to be real.
Right.
Right. So like learning from anybody, like I wish more teachers were real. I just saw a post on Facebook where it was like parents be confused at how I'm teaching right now, because like, man, your kids can retake any test or quiz.
Right.
You're gonna fail in life. Why are our school systems taught to, once you take this, it's one and done. However you did, that's how you did.
Right.
Well, I'm trying to learn from my mistakes, and you gotta fail forward, just like I think Mario said. Elijah said
actually.
Yeah. So yeah, you gotta fail forward to keep moving forward, because at least it's a positive direction. When you fail and sit down or go back, then hey, that's on you.
Right. Exactly. And I think one of my favorite parts about the topic of the pleasing personality was your quote was, if you're trying to become a pleasing person, don't be a people pleaser.
Right.
And from every conversation, we pretty much got the idea that if you want to please people, you need to make sure that you're good first, and you can't please everybody. You know, everybody's not going to accept what I'm offering. You know, they're not even going to be in the right mindset to, you know, even look at me as being nice, because they're looking at everything so evilly. They think I'm evil too, out to get them.
Right.
You know, or they're quote unquote haters. You know, they don't like it. They don't, you know, they're mad I'm changing and growing and doing something different, you know.
For real.
And that was one thing I really felt about the pleasing personality was, you know, it's not being a kiss ass, sorry my language.
Yeah.
But it is more of just holding your ground and being who you are.
Yeah.
You know, holding your ground, knowing who you are, knowing your personality, your vibe, and just being aware of myself.
Right.
You know, I'm not worried about everybody else. I'll make sure you're good, but at the end of the day, I have to do it for myself, you know?
And I think I said this in one of the other episodes. It's like, well, if you want to give out to people and like, you know, support them and all this other stuff, if you don't have the well filled up within yourself, how are you going to pass out the water?
Exactly.
You're all dried up. There's nothing to give, so you got to make sure you're good, and the people will come. You got water.
Exactly.
Spread love. Spread love is water. But if you don't got no water, if you ain't got no love, then what are you doing?
Right, exactly.
Spreading dryness, hate, all this other stuff.
Exactly.
So,
all right. So let's get into the next one, which was Miss Melisha's topic, which was self-discipline. So pretty much self-discipline is having the ability to take possession of your own mind, directing your thoughts, controlling your emotions, and putting destiny in your hands. And I felt that Melisha was perfect for that conversation because, like I said, the weight loss program she did, her whole transformation to who she is now, that took immense self-discipline because, you know, person like me, I've been trying to get unfluffy for a long time, and I'm still out here jingling around, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, just the idea that she was able to do it, I know that takes a lot of self-discipline, and I loved it, definitely comparing it back to Gerard and them, the barbers. The idea of going the extra mile and giving these people this amazing haircut every time they come in, that's self-discipline, bro.
Right.
That takes a lot of self-discipline. You know, like, that's crazy. Always I did lead by example. Mario was talking about how he wakes up every morning, he has a time schedule, what he needs to do, make sure he's reading these books, make sure he's always on schedule with this, that, and the third. That takes a lot of self-discipline.
And, you know, 100% agree with that. And it also, I like self-discipline because counterintuitively, it frees up more time for you. When you're self-disciplined, you create a habit. When you create a habit, you don't think about it because it's a habit. You're naturally doing this on the daily. So it frees your mind up to think about other things, to plan for a better future, for all these other things. And since you already have that foundation of a habit set, then you can do so much more. So much more.
No, exactly. It goes, look, you know me, I do accounting pretty much. So when I'm first starting on a new program or a new project, you know, mentally, I can't listen to music and all that stuff in the background. Not music with words, because the words throw me off from what I'm reading right now.
Right.
But then once I get that habit of, okay, this is how this Excel file works, this is how I want it to go, I can listen to whatever I want to in the background now because I have that self-discipline now doing this job.
Shoot, even singing.
Yeah, exactly. This habit, I can sing with it now. I can do whatever I want to do now. But at the beginning, I couldn't do that. I would threw myself off, lost count. Anything could have went wrong, you know, trying to do two things at one time. But once you get that self-discipline, it kind of becomes in the subconscious. And then now you can use your conscious to focus on other things that you like, enjoy, growing whatever you want to grow with now.
Right.
Yeah, I fully understand. I like that idea.
Freedom, bro. Freedom.
Yes, exactly. Freedom for sure. And then I remember Shay's quote was, comparison is a thief of joy. And I think that's perfect for self-discipline because, you know, she had to sacrifice certain things to become self-disciplined. And, you know, for example, if she would have compared herself to all her friends who were having fun or doing this or doing that or doing the third, she could have broke her self-discipline trying to compare and live that life.
Right.
You know, trying to keep up with the Joneses. You know, and you can't keep up with the Joneses. You have to be self-disciplined on your own path, on your own, in your own shoes.
Right.
You know, like, I can't do that.
And like, well, I mean, and then it also goes into just like, well, also you have to ask this question: are you trying to live like the Joneses, or are you trying to live your dream?
I'm not trying to live me.
Yeah,
exactly.
So like, stop comparing yourself to try to be like everybody else. Just do what you need to do, and then shoot, just like probably like they did what they had to do to live with whatever way they wanted to live.
Right.
Well, make it so that you can live however you want to live.
Exactly.
You probably don't like it. You're seeing from the outside. You probably don't know what's going on the inside, and do you really want that?
Exactly.
So make what you want.
Exactly, because you just took my whole thought back full circle from what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
But you don't know what they did to get there.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't compare yourself to them because you don't know what type of self-discipline regimen this Facebook million follower Instagram model did to get her body to this level. You know what I'm saying? Because she probably had to do some amazing self-discipline to get there.
Right.
So it's like you can't just compare yourself to them right now. You have to walk on your own path, get into your own lane, and then work on your self-discipline. And then somebody's gonna be looking at you one day from that point and be like, damn, I'm gonna get up to her level.
Right.
You know,
and you bring them along.
You bring them along. Tell them, oh, this is what I had to do to get there. You know, this didn't happen overnight. You know, I think Big Sean said it the best. It took me 5 years to be overnight success. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no, that's that self-discipline for sure, brother, for sure. So let's go on to the next one, which was the Immortal Craft Barber
Lounge,
and Shave Parlor. So we had a great conversation with them talking about going the extra mile. And the reason I chose them was, like I said, Gerard's my barber. He's been my barber for probably 4 or 5 years now, if not longer than that. Like, I literally fired my childhood barber for him because he went the extra mile for me all the time. And I always loved it. And I think one of my favorite quotes from Napoleon Hill about going the extra mile is, when you go the extra mile, you put your fate, or when you go the extra mile, you put the responsibility to pay you in your boss' hands. If you don't go the extra mile, you put the responsibility to get paid in your hands.
Yeah.
Because when you go in the extra mile, you're doing more than you're worth, so now the boss has to pay you more to keep you, because now you're worth more.
You put a value to yourself, and they have to pay up for that.
But when you're not going the extra mile, your value's not that high. You're not showing no value, so now it's kind of like, are you worth what I'm giving you right now?
Right.
I can find somebody else that would do it better, or like I said, go harder for me than you are.
Right.
So I really like that, going the extra mile, and it really relates back to, like I said, Melisha's journey on
Self-discipline.
Self-discipline, you know what I'm saying? Extra mile doesn't just go, oh, I only work out in the gym. Extra mile is I'm doing jump jacks in the room, jump ropes in the garage, run the block. You know what I'm saying? Doing sit-ups between commercials, doing push-ups, you know, during the music videos time, whatever it is, you know, that's all the extra work that she did during that, the food, the diet, the water, that's going the extra mile.
Right.
You know, going back to Elijah, just talking about always just reaching out and saying hello, being the first one to step up. That's an extra mile right there, because it takes a lot of confidence to be one of the first people in the room to walk up to somebody and say, hey, how you doing?
Right.
Or to really make sure that somebody is willing to have a deep conversation, because a lot of people ain't willing to connect to people on that level. You know,
100%.
that takes emotional extra mile. You know, so it costs on all levels, you know.
And shoot, like going the extra mile in terms of like every time you do it, you're doing it for you. It reflects onto you.
Exactly.
So if you're chasing your dream, why would you not want to go the extra mile?
Exactly.
So you gotta maintain that standard, that self-discipline, and vibe check yourself for yourself to get where you need to go, and then influence the people that are around you too, because once they see that, they'll feed off that energy and then also return it back to you.
Exactly.
So just going the extra mile allows you to reap so much more of your labor.
Exactly. And then, you know, my thing is, if you look at it like a graph, right? Going the extra, if you're not going the extra mile, everybody's stopping at 4.
Yeah.
Going the extra mile is that little dot that pops up over 4:30, or that pops up over 5. And that's the one that you always notice first, the outlier. The one that really stands out. You know, that extra mile makes you that outlier that stands out above the rest. And, you know, this ain't no math class. We ain't trying to we ain't trying to get rid of the outlier now. We keep the outliers the one getting the raise, getting the big money, actually doing the next level stuff.
That's the standard.
That's a new standard. And EJ's quote from that day was actually, if it was easy, everyone would do it. A lot of people ain't going the extra mile, bro.
Yeah.
Not at all. Like, not at all. Like,
simple quote too.
So simple but so real. Like, I don't even have to elaborate on that quote much.
Yeah.
Because, if it was easy, everybody would have their own barbershop or their own dream right now, or their own rap career, whatever it is they want to be. Everybody be in the league right now.
Right.
You know,
and then to take that a little bit further too, it's like, well, if there's something you want to do, then you have to do what you don't want to do. And that comes again, it's crazy. It's crazy how all these different topics with these different people relate back to each other, and they coagulate together. It's just, you have to have the self-discipline to do what you want, and having self-discipline, you don't want to do that. Naturally, you don't want to do that. You just want to ride by easy and have a good time, but you really have to reach deep inside of your soul and bring out things in order to reach where you want to be. And that's tough. Exactly. It's not easy.
Not at all.
Yeah, you really have to get used to doing what you don't want to do.
You have to get used to stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are so stuck in their comfort zone that they never know what's on the other side of that wall. You know, like, I promise you, I'm sure there's people that I probably went to high school with, elementary school with, that probably never left this city, bro. Yeah. And they've been in Vegas their whole life, and they don't know what another city looks like. You know, but it's like, people don't want to take that stretch, you know, go to that extra level to see what's actually over there, what can actually bring you. You know, like, you put in that little investment right now, it's going to bring a big investment later.
100%.
Because, you know, the way the universe works, the law of compensation. You know, what you give is going to come back to you. At some point, it's going to come back to you. So that extra mile, you may not get paid back right now for it, but at some point, it's almost going to land right on you. Like, oh, wow, I didn't see this coming.
Right. And positive and negative energy, too. If you're going to go the extra mile to make this guy's day worse or whatever, then shoot, that's going to come back and slap you. You got to have intention to do the right thing.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like, you about to go the extra mile to keep fighting. The fight been over and you still trying to argue. Why you going the extra mile to be mean?
Right.
Why can't you go the extra mile to be nice? Why can't you cook the dinner and actually, after you done eating, take the plate, put it in the sink, start washing the dishes? Go the extra mile that way. Like,
right.
You know, a lot of people want to go the extra mile, the negative route, but they're not going the extra mile, the positive route, the productive route, you know, the blessing route, the route that's really going to help you out later.
Right.
You know, so when you start going the extra mile on that positive route, for sure. So I really love that topic for sure. Number 4, Mr. Mario Lewis had the topic of lead by example. And like I said, Mario is an amazing leader. He's been leading me since I met the guy. So I had to choose him for sure for this one. And one of my favorite leader quotes is, the first person you lead is you. You earn the right to lead others when they can see you can lead yourself well. If you can't lead yourself to do something, what do you make people aren't going to care about what you're doing? Yeah. Like, prime example, we can go back to Melisha again. She started to go to the gym and started to do the improvements. She started to see the change, got proud of herself, said, I'm going to do this now for me. Mm-hmm. And then now people are like, hey, can I join you? Can I come work out with you? Can I get on your level? Gerard. Yeah. He started cutting hair on, like you said, he could have kept doing a basic liner, tape up with the clippers and send you on your way, charge you $30. No, right. I'm going to keep doing the extra mile stuff, the extra lineups, the extra creams in your head, the extra razors, all that stuff. And then now people are coming to him and like, yo, how do you do this, bro? Right. Can you teach me this technique? How do you do all that inside this little amount of time? Like, they're trying to learn from him now because he's leading by example.
Right. And man, that's a beautiful quote, bro. It's a beautiful quote because once you get that in your head and you can see the changes that you've done for yourself, you exuberate a whole different type of light that people notice. Mm-hmm. And they always want to follow the light. The light is good.
Exactly.
So once you have that little epiphany for yourself inside your head, man, take it by the nuts and run with it, bro. It's hard to get vulgar, but man, like you really just got to take off with it and you'll just see everything come back to you, man.
Right.
You'll just grow. You're growing. You're growing.
Yes, no, prime example is this podcast. Literally this podcast. Like I said, this is 100% from the ground up. We were thinking about the idea and we decided to, let's just do it. Let's just see what happens. And you know what? We're starting to lead ourselves right now. And I'm hoping it does rub off on somebody. Hope somebody else looking at me right now and like, man, Adrian is lazy. How's he doing this podcast? You know what? Let me start chasing my dream. Let me start putting together this workout program or this, new trading card video game. I don't know what it is, but
let me do something.
Let me take that steps. And that's the beauty of leading by example. When you start leading by example, people are going to follow you that you didn't even know was following you, our nieces and stuff are watching us, Donovan, you know what I'm saying? They're going to follow our league one day and they're seeing that we're doing what we want to do. So they're going to start doing what they really want to do, So it's that lead by example that we really have to keep going with. Mm-hmm. Really keep doing. And then Mario's quote from that day was actually a lovely one. You actually posted it.
Yeah.
How you do anything is how you do everything.
Man, it's when my mom brought that up after she listened to it, I was like, yeah, I remember that hitting me a little different too, because like I remember just getting myself to the way I am now because people say I'm a leader as well, and I'm like, I just do what I do, but I literally took the intention of making sure that I can live a good quality life where I can take out a lot of the stressors in life just by going the extra mile to build the habit in the first place. Mm-hmm. Example, like something simple, locking your car door. Mm-hmm. So every time I get outside or every time I get out of my car's kind of messed up to where when I use the fob, the back let me just say one of the doors just doesn't close.
Gotcha.
So I always have to go back and push it down to make sure it closed so it can beat every time, whether I'm at home or I'm out somewhere. Mm-hmm. So if I'm lit and I'm trying to go, or if I'm lit and I'm going somewhere, if I'm lit, I'm more likely to forget. Right. But since I already built the habit of always closing it in the first place, it's second nature. That's part of me.
Right.
So, making music, just paying attention to the small details, listening to people, being actively listening and taking in every single word that they're saying so I can respond to it with the best version of myself.
Right. No, that's real.
Yeah. So, just leading by example. That's how I forgot.
No. I 100% feel you, bro. Yeah. Like you said, how you do anything is how you do everything. Yes. So you have to practice those good habits all the time. Mm-hmm. You can't, like for example, if you always talk down to yourself, you're going to talk down to yourself in all aspects. You know, for prime example, you could be mad at yourself playing the video game. Like, I can't believe I did that. I'm such a dumbass.
Right.
And then next time you drop something, you call yourself a dumbass again. So it's like you keep talking down to yourself. So now because you do that in bad times, you do it during positive times where you shouldn't be talking down to yourself.
Right.
You know, it should be times where, like you said, you're top of the world. It's your graduation day, and you be like, I'm a dumbass. I can't believe you did this. Like, what?
Right.
Why are you talking? Be mean to yourself for? You know, why are you talking down? Why are you doing that in multiple places? You know, if you show up late all the time, you show up late to work. I bet you're gonna show up late to dinner. Yeah. You're gonna show up late to the graduation. You're gonna show up late to the meeting. You know, unfortunately, you can't show up late to your funeral. Right. But God will make it happen somehow. He'll make sure you carve your way to show up late because you've been doing it so long. He wants to keep you consistent.
Right.
So, yeah. So you have to make sure that you lead by example because 1, 2, you never know who's watching you. You never know who's watching you. You never know who's using you as their example. You know, the people that you might not think is watching you are the ones that are watching you, and they're the ones that are actually growing from you or affected by you more than the people that you may actually know.
Right.
Yes, sir. And then last but not least, Mr. Elijah Robertson, Mr. Geeked Up, had the topic of enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the state of mind that inspires action and is the most contagious emotion. The most contagious emotion. So if you're enthusiastic, your enthusiasm can rub off on everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And that goes back to, we can use the barbers again, with Gerard and them going the extra mile on time and then doing it enthusiastically makes people, one, enjoy their haircuts. You know what I'm saying? Come in here, it's going to be a good vibe. I know this dude's going to be in a good mood. And if he's not, at least he's going to, go the extra mile for me still. And then two, it vibes around to everybody around him. So now all the other barbers are like, you know what? I'm going to start being like Gerard and go the extra mile. You know, I want to. Gerard's been leading by example. He's been going the extra mile. He's been showing me self-discipline. You know what I'm saying? He's been showing me his pleasing personality. He's enthusiastically passed his feelings on to me and got me feeling good right now. Right. You know?
So I would say one of the biggest indicators, like, that people can probably relate to immediately is like concerts. Hey, the person that's showing out, if he's not enthusiastic about showing out what he made, then the crowd's gonna be like, yo, what's up? Right. You showed up late to your concert? You're not enthusiastic about being here?
Right.
What's up?
Exactly. Like, how would y'all feel if the Migos came on stage and didn't bounce around or nothing? They would just drop top, smoking up, dumping a pot lot. You know, just bored with it. Like, you can't vibe to that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that enthusiasm. You have to raise your energy up to bring somebody else's energy up. Right. Or sometimes you might have to raise your energy down for a slight moment to bring that person back up. Right. And that's when it comes to connecting. Like, that's what I liked about Elijah. He was really using his enthusiasm to connect with people. Right. You know, he uses his enthusiasm to say, hey, how you doing? I'm doing good. And then based off his responses, now he can actually watch this person's face, look in their eyes, and be like, okay, let me tone it down a little bit and get to this level with this person. You know, let me see where they are. Exactly. He's reading the vibe. He's freaking self-aware. He has that pleasing personality. He has that self-awareness in him to realize where his energy levels are and when to be enthusiastic. Right. You know, and I really enjoy that about it.
Shoot, that's Super Saiyan ability, honestly. Shoot, like, oh, his power level's over here. Let me raise mine real quick, or lower mine. Let's match. Right. Let's match. Let's have a good time. Right. So, it's enthusiasm. That's something I'm working on personally too. I need to. I don't know. It's just like, where do I want to be within that moment and adjust my power level accordingly. Exactly. And enthusiastic. Well, I guess let's dig into this topic. Like, do you think enthusiasm is always just like the hype, or would you say enthusiasm is just like exuberating energy?
I look at enthusiasm. If I can use another word for enthusiasm, I'll use the word passion. Passion? Because I feel that having enthusiasm is pretty much being passionate in whatever you're doing as of right now. So I can be enthusiastic at work. I can be enthusiastic washing the dishes. I can be enthusiastic cooking a meal. You know, it's like me putting that passion, that true energy into it, not half-assing it, not playing around with it, like actually giving myself to wherever the task is at hand. You know, like right now, talking with me and you, this is enthusiastic right now. You know, I'm feeling good. I got energy. You know, we're feeling good. I feel like I don't even care how it turns out. You know, I'm not worried about that right now. I'm just worried about having a conversation with you and trying to make sure I keep my energy up. And this is my focus right now, you know. And I feel enthusiasm is taking that, like you say, that focus, that passion, and focusing on whatever task is at hand.
And
you know,
I feel like, I don't know, they don't know, the audience doesn't know, but every time we have like a little like ritual where we just say what we're here to do, why we're here to do it, and let's have a conversation. Right. And every time it seems like nail right on the coffin. We're having a conversation, and it's just beautiful.
Exactly. But what if our guests came over here and were like, hey, how y'all doing? Y'all good?
Yeah.
You know, okay. And then they sat here, we didn't talk to them the whole time, and then we're like, you ready to record? All right, bet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Like, it would have messed them up because it's like, no, that enthusiasm started when they first walked in the door. I got to start getting my energy off right now. So when the podcast is time to record, you know, their energy is already on that level that we need to be at.
Right.
You know, so it's like, yes, you have to work at enthusiasm. You have to learn how to control enthusiasm, but you really have to focus it. You know, you have to be, like I said, passionate about it. I couldn't have been in here. You know, we over here recording, and as you setting up the recording equipment and stuff like that, I'm in the kitchen and I'm worried about what's going on.
Right.
And then it's gonna come sit down and talk. It's like, no, I need to be enthusiastic about my task right now. That's when I'm writing down these quotes, writing down these definitions, writing down, you know, whatever I need to do. Watching the video, trying to keep my mind going, keep everything going. I'm enthusiastic about my task right now. You know, I'm passionate about my task right now. So let me just focus on it.
And shoot, every time I walk in here to do this, it's like you doing all of that preparation and listening and stuff.
It translates to you.
Yeah,
and gets you ready.
I prepare myself personally to accept that energy and let's get it going too. And it's like, yeah, sometimes I may not be having the best day, but I'm preparing myself mentally and myself like consciously to, okay, we're here to do this. This is the focus right now. Let's get it done.
Exactly.
So,
and that's exactly what happened when you walked in. I was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, this do, but I'm over here now. Let's work on this. You know, let's get the podcast going because I'm enthusiastic about this. I'm about to be self-disciplined about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go the extra mile right now. I'm going to show my pleasing personality to everybody, and I'm about to lead by example. I'm not about to let nothing stop me from doing this right now. So I like it. I love the enthusiasm. And Elijah's quote from that episode, I think one of my favorite quotes actually was, your vision comes in the valley. And that is an amazing quote. You know, the way I see it is you know, one of my teachers always said life is like a roller coaster. You know, at some point you're gonna be at the top of the mountain, and at other points you're gonna be at the bottom of the valley. But Elijah's, the way his quote works is, at that bottom of the valley is when you're gaining that speed to go back up to the top of the mountain. That's when you're starting to see how I'm gonna get back up to the top. You know, you're starting to see your path again. You're starting to understand that, okay, maybe this will work for me. This is how I'm gonna get back up there. Because when you're on top of the mountain, you've seen the world. It's so much stuff to view. You don't know what to look at. Yeah. That's when you lose focus, whatever. But once you get down to that valley, the only place to look up is up now.
Yeah, I have to.
I have no choice but to look up. Okay, nothing else down here. You know, I love it.
Again, number one thing from Reno was just like, man, I was at the deepest of my deepest. Right now, my only focus was to get myself right and okay. And then I started finding the things that I need to do to step up to that. So definitely, for sure, you see what really matters in the valley. Like, yeah, do your best not to be down there, but don't be upset if you are down there, because like you said, life's a roller coaster. You are going to have your up and down. That's how you live. Right. But when you're down there, you really have to assess what really matters and what you need to do to get back up at that peak.
Exactly. Yeah. No, and that's 100% real. You know, I mean, I feel a lot of people in this world right now can relate that just to the year 2020 alone. You know 100%. What I'm saying? I'm sure there's a lot of people that were in the bottom of that valley, you know, part going a little deeper, the ground was breaking while they're in the valley. There's like what's going on, but that's when you really learn what really mattered and what we're really here for and what you really care about, what truly matters in this world, you know, not the watches, or you know what, I'm not even going to throw it out there because what you think matters is on your mindset. I'm not going to share mine, but yes, you really learn what really matters, what your true values are. So yes, sir, I appreciate it, man. And you know, bro, I just want to say thank you, man, for doing this again with me, bro.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. You know, we're going to keep going. We got more episodes to come, of course. Like I said, I just want to do a little recap for everybody. Like John Maxwell said, experience is not the best teacher, but evaluated experience is the best teacher, and we needed to evaluate what we just spoke about over the last 5 episodes. So
Yes.
thank you guys all for rocking with me. I appreciate all the love, everything, all the views, everybody's been sharing it with me. I appreciate you guys. I just want to say that, share your love with me. If you want to comment, please comment. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to download. We do have an email address. That's jkspodcast702@gmail.com. JKS as in just keep swimming. Podcast702@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Send us some praise. Send us some comments. Send us some questions. If you got hate mail, you can send that too. Whatever makes you feel good and you want to send at this time, you can send it to us, and we'll gladly appreciate every last email that we get from you guys.
Like we said, we're looking for more perspectives.
Yes, exactly.
More perspectives.
Exactly. My mind is as open as this can be right now, and I think my favorite line with Erykah Badu is, a man that knows something knows that he knows nothing at all.
Yes.
So
that's true intelligence.
Exactly. So we're growing. We're just swimming. I'm still out here swimming right now. I'm in the pool with y'all, or I'm off far. We in the ocean.
Nah.
Yeah.
Dripping though.
Sea. Yeah, exactly.
Dripping.
Exactly.
Ice.
Exactly.
Yes.
Ice dripping sea right now. I'm working my way to the volcano area so I can warm up.
Hot spring.
Yes, sir. But anything else you want to leave us with, bro?
No. Hey, just thanks for rocking with us. Thanks for listening. Thanks for even downloading. And hey, I see all y'all still just joining the podcast to begin with.
Yes.
And like on Facebook, just keep doing it. Spread it to your friends. Spread the love. We're just trying to spread love at the end of the day.
Exactly.
At the
Love
end of
makes
the
the
day.
world go round.
Yes.
That's all it is. That's all it is. It's all about love. It's all about growing. It's all trying to help the world, and that's all it's trying to do.
Yeah.
So with that all being said, I just want to thank everybody for listening today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a great afternoon, and an amazing evening. And remember, just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
KS Podcast 702. What it do?
At me.